time for another edition of the Lone Star Brahmas Inside the Bullpen podcast. With your host, Nick Merrick, Chad Seward, and Megan Campbell. Brought to you by Acme Brick, the only brick you should use. And now, Nick Merrick.
Well, apparently we need a lower voice for the intro. Acme Brick Podcast. We are here.
The only brick.
And the gang is back in studio. It's 278 today.
Yeah, 278.
We had to move around, so we're in 278 studios here inside the NITEC Sports Center, and ready for a good time.
Ready for a good time. Holy Snopes, Nick. Hey, speaking of Acme Brick, we also have this episode is brought to you by Stargazer. What's Stargazer? That is the new album from Christopher Holt, available on iTunes or from State Fair Records. You need to get it in vinyl for all you vinyl junkies because everything sounds better on the warm tones of a vinyl record. Chris Holt, he is the guitar player for Don Henley. He's been a little bit busy the past few years touring with him. I know back when Hunt Nasty was in the office, he would be very jealous.
Yes.
That, Chris plays on all those favorite tracks of his. But Stargazer, it's a double record. Go pick it up today. You'll be hearing it in the arena during preseason games. That's breaking news.
That's nice.
Nobody will notice because there's so much going on, but you'll be hearing it. And back to you, Nick.
Well, that's great. I'm excited to see that. In terms of things going around, speaking of which, I think there's some changes to the arena currently going on, and with that, some off-ice shuffling, if you will. We have a little bit of sneak preview to Chad Seward debuts coming up later in the podcast. But we know there's a couple of jobs.
Yeah, we got a few jobs open.
Yes.
I believe you guys might be looking for maybe one or two more production people.
Correct.
What's that all about?
So basically anybody who wants to get involved on a game night perspective and see how things work behind the scene, there's some openings for both off-ice officials to kind of be a part of that staff and get a different perspective of the game of hockey. That's like kind of helping the team and the league and the coaches log stats,
it's the best,
make sure everything's
best off-ice staff.
Yes.
In the crew.
Without a doubt. They do a tremendous job. And obviously Howard and Brendan have helped spearheaded that for years. But that doesn't, not to undercut anybody else on that staff who just does literally a fantastic job. We love seeing them every day. There's openings for that. Yes, if you want to do production stuff, we definitely need some camera operators for the year as well. We have a good crew involved already. But the good news is it's very flexible, and just if you want to work literally behind the camera for the game nights. It's perfect.
Literally behind the scenes. Now, how does someone apply for that position?
They can apply literally by just, you can comment below. Just let us know you're interested so at least somebody gets to the right person. But you can also just email me, nick@nitexsports.com, NYTEX sports.com. And just send over a little message and your resume, and we'd love to get you on board. If you don't even have a resume, the good news is this is a entry-level gig, so
we'll start one with this gig.
We can get you started with one, especially if you're a high school student, young in the industry, you just want to get your foot involved in something that's close to home, and you love Brahmas hockey.
Or fresh out of prison.
That too.
We're
Prison
open-minded
IDs are
here.
acceptable.
We'll take it. We'll take it.
Also, we have positions open in food and beverage. We're looking for a few people to work concessions, suites, potentially doing some catering in the restaurant, and in our Zoo to Go concept as we expand the operation here. To apply for that, I would say comment below as well, or email Rick at NITEC Sports.
That's with an R.
Rhymes with Nick, but it's Rick. And Rick at NITEC Sports, he'll get you going. Same thing can be said. You can email Rick at NITEC Sports if you want to join our ops crew, because as we look out the window of Studio 278, we have a fresh coat of ice, which means we have two surfaces to take care of.
Whoa.
And we don't really have the full ops crew. And we're losing a member of the ops crew, which we'll talk about here coming down the pipe a little bit later. But so there you go. There's your job break. This has been a job posting. It's very exciting. We're like the Texas Employment Commission here.
I know, right? We're literally headhunters on
with
the
a little
podcast.
bit better production.
Well,
Right.
that kind of does it for just some of the quick hits, but we'll get to some of those teases later that we just mentioned. But obviously, the NAHL and NA3HL players, they are finally back in Brahmaland. This has been a really short offseason. I know some people make it seem like, oh, maybe it's a little longer than you want it to be, and we agree, but hey, you have to wait no longer because the players are here, and they actually were podcasting on Tuesday. They are getting ready to go on for their first on-ice activity here in 2 hours' time from when we are podcasting. You'll probably be listening to this the next day. We apologize for that.
You'll have to travel back in time.
To come see them. But obviously, all good things from there. I know Megan got the first taste in main camp that I missed on, so I got to see them for the first time with like headshots yesterday and them doing their off-ice physical training and all the impact testing to make sure nobody's concussed and everybody's healthy and all that good jazz. But
now, Megan.
Yeah, I'm going to say, Megan, what did you think of the crew?
Oh, I mean, it's a good crew. It was a short off season. One might say it was the shortest off season in the entire league. It was good having them in town for main camp to see the returners and to see some of the new guys, some of the tenders, some of the protected guys that like we hadn't really seen before. And a lot of those guys are here now. We haven't gotten to see them skate yet. Like Nick says, they'll take the ice later this afternoon. But it's always good having them like back in town. Like the rink is always busier when everyone's here.
Right.
There's more hustle and bustle,
right,
as opposed to like the dead space kind of in the middle of the summer where you're here and like there's like 6 people here total. So it's nice having everyone back.
Well, sounds like there were both good off-ice meetings, too, from the Sunday meetings for both the NA3HL teams with Michael Hill and obviously the NAHL teams with Dan Wildfong. Both went well. It seems like the players know what to expect this year, and everybody seemed pretty excited to get things rolling from both sides. Obviously, like you said, there's a lot of movement down there in the locker rooms because they're getting the new equipment that came in from Bauer.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you guys for that. Well, really thank you, Frank and Rick, for putting the funds to pull those over here.
Bauer will send you anything you want provided you pay for it.
Yeah, exactly. If you pay full price, they'll give you whatever.
Sorry.
But, hey, one thing about the headshots.
Yes.
Did you have a little bit of trouble with Mr. Beck?
Oh my goodness. Okay, so that was pretty funny. So I like our team is like generally a little bigger, I think, than last year, like size wise. But we're like going through headshots, and everyone is just of a normal height. And then this guy walks up and he's like enormous. Like our photographer Rebecca is like not super tall or anything, so we're all just kind of like looking up at him, and he like does not fit within the bounds of our like white backdrop. So she had to get on a chair and shoot downwards to make sure we got all 6'7" of him in the frame.
That was pretty good. It made an appearance in the Snap story, too.
And the Insta story, so you probably saw that. His name
stuff.
is Benjamin Beck.
Yep.
German goalie.
Yep.
Very tall.
20 years ago, another tall German came to the Metroplex. A little bit taller, actually.
Yeah.
Wrong
again,
sport, though, right?
Worse haircut, I would say. Different time.
an
Did
inch.
you see those photos from when Dirk came to Texas for the first time?
No, I actually didn't. From his
It
rookie
was
year?
it was like 97, 98, and he had like the bleach blonde hair. It was
Oh, God. He had the tips, the
the
bleach tips.
Yeah, like the
The boy band? Yeah.
So, good stuff. Okay, so players are back, and then practices are going to start, and you guys are going to.
Yes. So obviously, because we just mentioned, we teased a little bit with the ops crew, but the main rink's getting installed now. It's looking pretty good. They're currently flooding the ice, which means they're literally dumping water on it so it could freeze based on the ice plants. So the lines are in. They did such a phenomenal job with that. I think fans will notice the big Brahmas logos that used to be at center ice have been repositioned, so it looks a little bit. Not better, but it just gives it a different look. Obviously, we love it. It looks great.
The checkered red line.
Yeah, the checkered red line at center is freaking phenomenal. So huge shout out there to Glenn DeSico's crew for getting that all wrapped up. And then in terms of practices, they're obviously going to be in the West Rink to start their training camp, but fans are more than welcome to come see the Brahmas in action for practice. Obviously, there's no roster to give out, sadly, now, but you can come and see, and you'll pretty much figure out what the teams are. That way, we'll do a roster release more before the preseason game when you guys come, so you can get your game note things like we always do. But it's 3 to 4:45 every weekday, and then their weekend times. They have Sundays off, and I forgot what the Saturday skate is top of my head, but we will be posting that on social media for anybody who wants to come later in the next couple weeks.
So keep an eye out. Watch the new team skate. There are some fun guys this year for sure.
Yeah, that should be good. And, hey, before you know it, we'll be into preseason action here.
Big time.
And, I mean,
It's
talk
literally
about that.
it's a week from Saturday.
Yeah, that short off season. So we never played a game as late as what day did we win the championship
May
on?
14th.
May 14th.
Yeah, we won this year on the 15th.
May 14th.
Oh.
So the latest we had ever played as the Brahmas was May 6th. Prior to that,
That's right. And that was the Corpus series.
well,
Because that was the whole point. Why
when we
Frank-
won the CHL
Yeah,
championship,
yeah.
that was on May 6th, 2009. So that was the longest we've ever been in the season. And then we've never had a preseason game, I don't believe, before Labor Day.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
It's pretty early.
So
Yeah, so this is literally the longest and the earliest.
yeah, so that's the way it's going to happen, and that's the way it's going to be.
Sorry, Danny boy, for really having to whip this around quick.
It's the name of the game, huh?
I know.
Yeah, pretty much. Now, preseason, you'll be hearing the golden pipes of this man right here. Behind the broadcast booth. Is that right term?
Yeah. Why not?
What the hell? Sabi Broadcasting. Nick has a prior commitment. Dustin Copening, who does our NA 3HL games, is also out of town. Basically, I have to do broadcasting, PA, DJ, and Zamboni to have done every single job possible here with the Brahmas during my tenure. And so we're going to knock out broadcasting on September 2nd and DJing on September 5th. So
That's perfect.
so only PA and Zamboni left.
I bet we can work that in.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah,
And
we'll
I-
find a way this
perhaps-
season. It's going to be a goal for the year. Knock them all out.
100%. And I think we could work out doing PA while Zamboniing.
Winning Wednesday, like, ride with Chad in the Zamboni.
100%.
While
Wow.
he PAs.
And
Have a contest.
maybe we could work in a little bit of a DJ type scenario with the wonders of Bluetooth technology.
That would be really cool. I'm a big fan of that.
Absolutely. Okay, so,
So, yeah, the debut.
yeah, it's going to
We
be
got
fun.
a little round of applause here. It's gonna
Yeah,
be
and
fun.
I'm not going to practice. I'm just I don't want you to worry about losing your job. I know that I'm great at everything I do. I sound like the president there for a second.
Oh!
Everything I do. No,
Oi, zinger.
no, it's going to be completely wheels off. Broadcasting baseball is one thing. Broadcasting football is another. I mean, you have stoppages constantly. Hockey is just like wheels off. It is constantly something going. You may get a whistle. You may not ever know what that whistle was for.
Right.
I mean, I don't know how you do it. And probably
Sometimes we don't.
yeah, well, listen, midway through the first period, I'm probably going to be like crying on the microphone and completely melting down. And so tune into that on Hockey TV.
If you have a meltdown, we're sending that to ESPN Radio.
100%. And I may have a meltdown. I may have a few. I may have to, melt down, hug myself, pick myself back up, and get back in there.
What we're saying is make sure you tune in on September 2nd.
Yes. HockeyTV.com is the site.
I think so. That should be a good time. And before we get to mailbag, this is the big mailbag podcast, right?
Yes.
And so far we have done everything but
I
mailbag.
think we got two things to talk about here.
Yeah. So quickly, probably the next podcast will be heavy Dan Wildfong centric.
Yep.
Talking about his playing days, because that's something that we haven't really talked about a whole lot. But now that his jersey is about to be retired in Shreveport, I think we should talk to Dan and hear some of those cool stories. I've heard him.
I agree.
And
Yeah, we'll definitely try to get him on. Well, when I try, we'll steal him.
yeah,
and get him on.
he's 100 feet that direction.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can find him and find time. But Dan played hockey at a time when minor league hockey was just really wheels off with lots of fights, and he was the preliminary pugilist for the Mudbugs. So
yeah.
we'll hear all about that. We'll hear some good stories. And September 15th, stay tuned. We will be working in ticket deals, possibly a bus trip.
Yes.
Should we tease that? We teased that last week.
Yeah, I
didn't
think we did.
Yeah.
We could talk now with our good old Silver West limousines
Silver West.
who helped take us to McKinney last year.
Yep.
For the Corpus series when they had to find ice up in the Metroplex. But I think we're trying to get that back again for a quick day trip to Shreveport on that Friday for his retirement.
yeah, I think if we can get enough fans, I think Silver West said 20. We need 20 fans to justify going, and I believe the rate would be $30 or $40 a person. That covers round trip, everything there and back. Doesn't cover your ticket, but I believe Hannah with the Mudbugs is working on some sort of ticket special. So, and it would be BYOB if you really want to spice things up on the way east on I-20.
You and I were laughing because you and I were saying, man, if we have your debut on the 2nd, we could really turn this up a notch and have our own BYOB to Shreveport. But then it's like,
yeah, well, you know.
I'd have to find a way to get back on Saturday then.
Yeah. Then, yeah.
You and I boozing up with the broadcast now. That would be some comedy.
And that could happen. You never know. You never know. So we'll talk more about Dan's thing. But before we get into mailbag, we teased we're needing an ops person. So Garrett Culps has gone off to college in a 3HL, Texas Brahmas, and former junior Brahma graduate. He's gone off, so he was part of our ops crew. He's going away. And we're also going to be losing the Ripper.
I know. We're down
Mark
two
Rippey.
big guys. Yeah, huge shout out to Culps there at Aurora University. Wishing you the best of luck, buddy. I know it's been a huge Brahmas career, even going back to midgets and stuff.
Oh, yeah, he's been around forever.
But, yeah, Rip moving on up the ranks. He is off to pro hockey, and we could not be more happier for him. I know everybody else shares the same sentiment here from the fan base. He's definitely going to be missed, but
we'll miss him a bunch. We're very happy for him.
Yeah,
for sure.
He's been needing this break. He's definitely put his work in here for it. So
he's been
all up
really
for him.
fantastic. And I mean, we've had not that many equipment managers in the 20 plus years of Brahmas hockey.
Right.
Ripper would absolutely be in the equipment managers Hall of Fame if there were such one for the Brahmas. Really, really great year. Handling that first year in the NAHL all the way up. He got his championship, and now he's spread his wings. Good for him.
Yeah. I know it's live. We're all excited for him. I think Mama Rip might be the one who's going to be sad to see him go for obvious reasons.
Absolutely. And we're sad to see him go. She does a lot for us too. She's awesome.
I know.
Quite the chef too.
Also true.
Very true.
And the baker.
She does it all.
Lily, it's crazy.
So good luck to you, Rip. We'll miss you, and I'm sure we'll. Wow, boy, minor league hockey. Who knows when we'll see it? It's a crazy. It's a crazy season.
I know.
So we'll stay in touch.
Oh, 100%.
We'll keep you updated on the goings of Mark Rippey.
Hey, maybe one time we did it last year. It was a big hit. We'll do a Snapchat takeover with Mark and just send him our Snapchat.
We'll
code.
do it. We'll do it.
Fun.
He could rock it out from pro hockey scene, see what it's like behind the scenes of a professional locker room. Not that ours is professional, but you know what I mean. Just like a different locker room, different setting for him.
So it's weird. Like
be cool.
The bench that's been pretty stable for most of our tenure here in the NAHL.
Yeah, it's finally getting a big shakeup.
Yeah, I mean, we had Al Rooney last year on the bench, but he wasn't really new because he's been around from the NA3HL team.
Right.
But now with the addition of Justin Hale, so that's a new face on the bench.
Yep. If fans haven't heard about Justin Hale, you want to clue him in on what that transaction was?
Well, I think we talked about it last week. It's our new assistant coach.
Okay, yeah.
They
might have missed an episode.
Where did he come from? Bemidji State?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he's coming from the college ranks.
Played Stevens Point.
Yep.
He's a very, very agreeable fella.
Yep.
He's
a good dude.
He's a good dude.
Y'all chat with him if you see him around.
We haven't heard any negatives about him yet, so
pretty sure he'll love the Brahma fan base.
Yeah, absolutely. And I believe he lives really close to here, so he'll get a lot of
true.
yeah. But also we've got a new equipment manager coming in. Is that?
Yes.
It's Megan Kim.
I know. Okay, so we have a new equipment manager coming in. His name is Aiden Zeitz. Aiden, if I said your name wrong, I'm sorry. We were texting actually the other day because we wanted to run a little press release coming soon. And he's from Philadelphia. He's finishing up a degree at Coastal Carolina in recreation and sport management. And his thing is like, this is what he wants to do, man. Like, he wants to go be an equipment manager. And he like really left it this chance to come and, work with the winning team and like advance his own like professional career and stuff. So we're happy to have him. I think he gets in town this weekend.
Cool.
So we're excited to meet him, see how this goes.
Yeah, I mean, let's hope he can sharpen skates.
I think he's got that covered.
That's a requirement.
I think he's got that covered.
And
it's the sense I get,
And
Rip definitely elevated the role of equipment manager, so he's gonna have a lot of things he'll have to slowly pick up on too, of carrying that excellence.
Yeah, I mean it's a hard torch to pick up and run with, but hopefully Aiden can do it.
I'm sure he's up to the task.
I believe so, and we've got a lot of people around that I believe Rippy will be around for a little bit to help segue and smooth.
They'll
that
have a little bit of
transition.
overlap,
so which is really good. So good luck.
Impromptu transition with another Brahma through the system who's moving up. I guess we can now give a formal shout out or a formal shout out. Formal shout out to former Brahmas employee. Man, I really butchered that. I'm sorry. Walt Ruff.
Yes.
He
Walty!
is over to Tucson to work with the Roadrunners AHL organization. So from the Brahmas to Norfolk and the ECHL, now to Tucson, the AHL. He's all over the map.
He's not messing around. He is moving up at a rapid rate, and it's good. That's a really good home.
Yeah.
I mean,
100%.
you came from Arizona State. Man, how's the desert? It's gonna treat him well.
I love the desert. Amanda, my wife, she probably wouldn't be her favorite move to go back.
Well,
But I love it. Honestly, the good news is Walt loves it because I talked to him yesterday. He had his first day, and he said, he's like, dude, I'm so happy here. Like, this staff is incredible. I can't wait to just do some big things, get the season started. Like, everybody's so supportive. They're so positive. They loved having me there. Like, he's like, I got accustomed to the office. Like, everybody was so friendly. Literally, he had like a million good things to say about it. So I was so happy for him. And he's like, oh, my apartment, I just moved in there. He goes, the Arizona sunset is like literally right over the mountain based on where my apartment view is out of like his window. I'm like, that is sick. So he was super excited about all of that, obviously. But in honor of Walt Ruff, I know he would love to do the mail time. We got a little mailbag. That's why I had to segue that in there.
The whole point of the damn podcast, and we're just getting around to it. So we posed on social media. Bring us your questions. No matter how ridiculous or hard. You guys threw a bunch of softballs, but
yes,
we'll be happy to answer those. Megan, you have those queued up?
I think Nick actually did.
One of you does.
Yeah, we'll start with the one that everybody's been dying to ask. Marvin Venegas on Facebook asked if there's going to be a Robertson Cup repeat.
Well,
Marvin, we haven't started the preseason yet, so it'd be rough to tell you. We don't have a crystal ball. And it's a hard road, you know?
No. There's going to be a repeat, Marvin.
There we go.
Get your popcorn
you heard
ready.
It. You heard it here first. We're defending that title.
We're going for a three-peat. That's
before
we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves there.
No,
Chad.
we're not. I mean, you either think like a champion or you're a loser. That's basically it. Right?
I will say though, Megan and I can confirm that we went to the meeting. Frank Trezera was there, and first thing he said to the team was, he goes, "Championship."
Yep.
And then everybody looked at him like, "Huh?" Like, not really. They were just kind of like, "Well, that was like random." Like, you just dropped that after Dan's like, "Here's Frank. You want to say something? Championship." That's the first word I said to last year's team. God dang it, it's going to be the first word I say to this year's team. I don't think he threw the God dang it in, but
no, he might have.
He might have.
And listen, so Marvin, I think so. Megan is being a little bit more cautious playing.
I don't make predictions until we play a game, you know?
Yeah. There's 30 guys. You got to figure out we always say which 23 are going to come back after the showcase.
This is a 58-win team. And
he's calling it now, guys. He's calling it right now. Save this clip.
I mean, seriously, we won 45 freaking games last year out of 60.
Technically won 53 if you include the playoffs.
Yeah, so, I mean, Megan, you're right. It is early, but the pieces seem to be here. We have enough returners that know what they're doing and gelled. We've got the gray line, the infamous gray line back, you know.
And Cynthia did say they came into town in better shape than last year's team, and we all know what last year's team did. So.
And we have...
Oh, the whole team as a whole came in?
Yeah, they did their fitness testing yesterday, and Cynthia said overall they generally looked better. So...
Yeah, so that's positive.
They're here. They've been preparing. We like that.
You know, I think it's definitely... Of course, in the Robertson Cup, with the format with that one game final, I mean, it's a flip of the coin when you have teams make it that far. But, yes... Next.
Well, to kind of segue off of Marvin's thought, on Facebook, Tom Hallwax asked, sorry if I'm pronouncing the name wrong, what's the D going to look like? Meg, you got anything on that?
Well, pretty different from last year since literally everyone is gone.
Yep.
We might get a USHL drop down, but I wouldn't bet on it or anything. So you're going to have some pretty new faces.
Well, no, I guess we have one.
Kimball?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all didn't see Kimball at all. We saw Kimball
did.
around all the time.
Yeah, he
Kimball
was-
Kimball
Poor guy.
Johnson was with the team. He suffered an injury like 2 years ago and went through like 3 surgeries, something crazy. He didn't get to hit the ice all last year in a game, but towards the end he was practicing and doing full contact.
He was sitting
So
with Dr. Kaz back then. He needed Dr. Kaz.
That's the thing. He needed Dr. Kaz
He did.
to get him going, and dang it, it didn't happen. But now he's,
No, he looked great. I know Dan's super high on him and can't wait to see what he's like. Obviously, the whole DP.
yeah,
as well, but-
I loved seeing him at main camp because that was like the first time I had like seen him skate in earnest probably, and I was like, ooh, this is gonna be fun.
I remember
So
that question
Kimball
you had
will
for
be
me,
back.
Too. You were like, Kimball John. Like she was kind of like timid. Like, is Kimball like any good? Like, what's he gonna be like? Like, we haven't seen him really skate yet
Yeah.
because it wasn't before he got back in the ice. I'm like, no, Dan
mean-
Dan says he's gonna fit in so solid. Like, he's a good two-way guy. He knows how to move the puck. And
He's-
Megan's
he's-
like, yeah, he's pretty good.
Yeah, literally was texting Nick. I was like, oh, I love Kimball. So that's that.
He's not a big D man. He's not gonna just shove bodies through the boards or anything like that. But he's, I would say, smart.
Yeah.
And all around skilled, which you
Good
need.
skater.
You don't need a bunch of big meatheads on your blue line, just one or two.
Keep,
What
keep
else?
an eye out for Kyle Hallbauer out of the OJ.
Yep.
And we have a Swede.
You're right, Kingston. Same
Kingston.
spot of
Jack
former Brahmas,
Zielinski!
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's wearing his number too.
Which
So.
is weird. So Hallbauer and Zielinski both came from Kingston to the OJHL. They didn't play together in the OJHL because they were a year apart, but they both wore the same number, or they're both wearing the same number in Brahmaland now after coming from the OJHL. Very weird. It's like
That's cool.
Also, the
carbon copies.
The big joke here is that he looks like a lot like if John Zimmerman and Alex Stolle like had a kid. That's like kind of what he looks like. So that's been the running joke here this entire since main camp. So Kyle, we apologize. We know you're your own person. Bear with us for a little while the fans also
Get to know
comment
you.
on that
Yeah.
for the first month. But we're excited to see you play. I'm excited.
I think you told me pretty much fans will come to and they're like, you look a lot like
Like that,
Stoll.
yeah,
Yes, I
yeah.
know.
He was literally by the end of main camp was like Stolle. Yep, got it. So
So we've had the Swede here and forgive me for being like such an insensitive racial profiler of the Swede. Anton? Is that his name?
Anton
Oh, yeah.
Sandberg, yes.
Anton's been in town since camp, right?
Since camp. He's been
So
here for a good while.
He's the only guy I've really seen skate. He's been out there every day, a couple hours. Moves around really fast. I would say very loofish.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll say that. Simon was a little bigger, I think,
Definitely.
size-wise. He was had a few inches on Anton, but he's good. Like, he's a good skater. He moves the puck really well. I would say you'll see him break the puck out of the zone very well.
I mean, he's
join the
really,
rush a bit.
He's been the fastest person on the ice at open hockey every day. So,
Well, one would hope.
but Swedes know how to skate in
Right.
general.
I
mean,
love- yeah, I
we've
love
never
that.
had an issue
It's
with
like
any
in their blood.
Yes, and so
Jesus.
it's good. It's good to have
We're really getting out there.
him on the blue line. I think he'll do some things, and so you guys feel good about the.
Yeah. I mean, I can't say from a deep perspective. We'll release the official roster
When we
again,
have it.
right around preseason once the coaches kind of make some final cuts. Because remember, they got to get from 30 down to 25 or so, 25, 26 by the showcase, and then down to 23 after that. But I think the D is there's really no secrets there. It's everybody who's been either drafted, tendered, or a returner. So it's a pretty solid group there. And to go off of the thought of Swedes and foreign players, we have a question on Twitter from @Glover. Are there any Asian players on the roster this year? And the quick answer to that would be yes.
However, not the Lone Star Brahmas roster. So, okay, Megan,
There's a Japanese import on the NA3 team.
what's the name?
Fuma Kasai. I'm sorry if I
pretty
didn't
good.
get that right.
That's pretty
I
good.
think I
Fuma
thought.
Kasai.
Yeah, I think that was right.
And when I do color in a 3HL,
You'll now know what to say.
Fuma Kasai, I hope I don't fumble over my words on that one. But yes, Japanese player, does not speak a whole lot of English yet.
Nope, but he's wonderful. He was at the meeting. I was at the NA3 meeting introducing our new media intern to that team, and it went well. He was very nice. it was generally a good meeting.
Michael
Nice
Hill,
to
I
see the
talked to him
guys.
when he was when it was up in the air about whether or not he was going to sign or not. And in fact, we were playing golf, Michael and I, playing on the golf course. That's where all the big decisions are made. And he was telling me about this. He's like, I got this Japanese forward coming. I really hope he can, everything works out. And then he's like, yes, I got the guy. So big future for Fuma Kasai.
That's huge.
In the NA3HL. The history for @Glover off Twitter, the history of the Brahmas, I don't think, at least in my 10 years here, I can't think of another Asian player that we've had. I know we haven't had one during the NAHL era.
100% we did it in the NAHL level.
I remember we had a couple guys from South Korea here that
Oh, wow.
they weren't here as part of our team. We let them practice with our team when they were in the Central Hockey League because they were here. I want to say they were doing a special tryout for somebody with the Stars, and so they needed to practice with
Interesting.
and the Stars are not going to risk $1 million contracts with
Right.
throwing two knuckleheads out there that they've never seen before.
Yeah.
So they would experiment in our pond. But to answer @Glover, one Asian.
Love that.
For
All
now.
right, we got a couple more here. Let's see from another Twitter one from Roger England. Is there going to be a new NAHL team, McKinney?
Well, there. If you saw on, this is probably what spurred this on. Was there's a social media post about the Dr. Pepper Star Center in McKinney, which our fans know well from the Corpus Christi home games there. They are expanding that, adding in parking, more of a restaurant vibe, and I believe a 2,000-ish seat arena, which would be similar to here at the Shoebox. An NAHL team, I just don't know. I don't know if that's going to happen yet. I know that there's always people wanting to move to the South. Teams from up north. I mean, you've got seemingly bigger fan bases, better weather. You never are really going to have to worry about driving through snow, sleet, or ice or anything for the most part down here, especially on a road trip to Corpus Christi. I'm pretty much guarantee that'll never happen. So, I mean, I wouldn't say no, and I wouldn't say yes. I don't know. Have you heard anything, Nick?
No, I haven't heard anything crazy, but obviously the fact the league is making strides to, I mean, they obviously got a team there probably for a reason, and we know all the construction's going on. So,
well, and with Wichita Falls out, I mean, I guess you could balance out.
100%. If somebody comes and buys that franchise's rights, and if they want to rebrand it and bring it to McKinney, I guess that makes sense.
It could happen.
I could see a team who needs a rink, like you said, who's either up north or whoever's been having rink issues, being like, we need a new home.
Yeah.
We'll look no further than close to the NHL offices.
Now, having lived through the whole Brahmas and Allen Americans rivalry, it is good to have a team across town for a multitude of reasons, for hotel reasons and travel reasons, and your fan base can go there. And really, when we played Allen, it didn't matter if the game was there or here. It was crowded and it was rowdy, and it was always a good time. But who knows? Who knows? So
McKinney will have to wait on.
We'll have to wait on there. What's his name?
And maybe we'll wait on Roger England.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, thank you for that question for our mailbag edition. And maybe we'll have to wait for this one, but we'll get some answers here for Puckhog721 on Twitter. Is there going to be a new logo anytime soon?
Is that his name? Puckhog?
Puckhog.
Okay. I don't do Twitter, so I guess you can have.
It's one of those, they don't put their name, they just put the handle, so it's just Puckhog.
@Glover, Puckhog. I'm sounding like a real old man.
Hey,
How does that computer work?
Glover's Austin O'Rourke hero.
Is there a new logo? Not this year. Potentially next year. We've kind of moved to that red eye classic Brahmas hockey logo.
Actually, almost wearing it.
Frank, our president and owner, he is a big Yankees fan, as is Sal Trezera, and the Yankees logo is one that pretty much has never changed and never will change. So they come from that school where
Your logo is your logo,
It
man.
kind of is. It's your identity.
Yeah, I agree.
The logo that you see on our away jerseys, the Lone Star Brahmas one that Lee Rafferty did, I dig that one. There's a little bit of a nod to the tornado with the star behind it and the Nitex brand on its the bull's butt. But
True. If you haven't noticed that, by the way, I think it took Megan a while to see
It
that.
I think it literally took me like halfway through last season.
I
And
remember
was
when-
like,
It's kind of like the Minnesota Wild logo, and there's like the hidden bear head in it. 'Cause
Yeah.
It looks like more like the wilderness. It's the same thing with the Brahma Bull, kind of, but instead of like the Nitec Sports logo is
it's like branded on
the bull's butt.
I remember me and Lee were like giggling about that when he put that in there. I was like, that's so genius. Like no one will get it, but it's genius. And like we had a good laugh about that. So it's shout out to Lee Rafferty Designs for making that happen. That was a good one. It's 5 years now with that logo. It's about time to change. We have a guy actually designing a new logo.
Ooh, I didn't even know about this, actually.
Yeah, we do. There's a guy currently, Christopher Hanley is designing a new logo. We don't have to use it. He's just he's a professional logo maker, works with a lot of colleges and companies around the world. Yeah, he's just he's intrigued by the fact that we are a Brahma. It's a very unique mascot.
True.
I mean, it's
Around
not
like the Tigers or the
Bulls,
Cowboys, the Bulls, yeah,
or the dinosaurs.
the
you know?
dinosaurs.
It's
That'd be great. Can we be the Lone Star Dinosaurs?
that would be so great.
dinosaurs.
Be a big T-Rex.
Specialty jersey.
Oh,
Dinosaur jersey.
How about doing dinosaur night? That could be fun.
That'd be really fun.
Heard it here first.
So yes, Mr. Hog. I'm not sure if we're gonna do a new logo, but
But I guess there
potentially
maybe's one in the works.
you'll see a different look on it. We were having a St. Patrick's Day jersey,
Sure,
so you'll see a different look on that one.
Yeah, we modify those too.
What else we got in that mailbag?
Let's see. We got one more that we'll close it on. We appreciate everybody sending in these questions. We'll definitely do this again because this has been fun, and it gives you guys some answers. But Brian Redmond is asking, well, he's really generic here. He's going, how are the goalies looking? Because he misses Calvo and Max already. We do too. Obviously, they won us Robertson Cup championship.
Yep.
And then he also says, I guess we'll go generic. How are the goalies going to be looking? But we kind of already know that question.
Tall.
I guess I'll answer that for him. They're tall when you get a bend back, but we haven't really seen them besides main camp, so we really don't know how that's going to be. Plus, Max was a guy that came in the second half of the season. It was Calvo with O'Brien and Gordon previously. So goalies do always tend to change in this team. So that's kind of your answer to that. We don't really know yet. But who's going to replace the offensive production left of guys like Kessel, Kelly, and York, etc.?
Ooh, that's a very pointed question. I don't know. A lot to be determined. I mean, we expect more out of Biondo, O'Rourke, Spellacy,
Yep.
Trezera,
Yep. Zenas, Adamo.
Adamo. I forgot about Adamo because he hasn't reported yet, or has he?
No.
he hasn't. Yeah, he's still working with national team stuff.
Yeah,
in
so
France.
he'll report, I think, like next week or the week after because he's
Will they make
fulfilling
him preseason, you
obligations
think?
there. Actually, I don't know.
It'll be
But
cl-
by the
game time
preseason,
decision.
yes. I don't I don't know
he
if
may
he'll
not
be for
need
the
it
first one.
if he's doing international hockey right now. He may not need the reps.
Yeah, that's true as well.
Plus, we have 65 guys.
Well, yeah, that's the thing too. We saw it last year. Dan likes playing the returners like one game, maybe two if he needs them. But then just be like, all right, you're looking fine. Just
like he knows
help me
what
watch, and I gotta
Austin
make
O'Rourke
decisions.
brings to the table.
Right.
I mean, he doesn't need to see that. He probably needs to see some of these other guys. And who knows? Maybe a NA3 player could be up on our roster for preseason games. It's so early that
Right. No, it's true.
Might do something like that.
That's true. Well, Tanner, there's one from last year. Hunter Bersani's currently on there, so he'll be fighting in preseason. So that's always nice to see that go through the ladder.
As far as like scoring goes, though, like you'll also see like more of Andy Willis will play a bigger role. I think you
Andy
guys saw a
Willis.
little bit of him because he was our NAP, one of our NAP tenders.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Continue. I have my own mailbag question. I'm gonna write it on a piece of
Okay.
paper, and I'm going to submit it here.
So, and
Carry
then
on.
a fun fact was that we lifted like 2 line mates off of a team. We lifted
That's true.
Jared Doman and Michael Montambo off of the Cowichan Valley Capitals. So they literally played on a line together, like just about killed it. So we're looking forward to just kind of like bringing that over here. I'd anticipate some offense definitely from their end. We have, I'd say Jake Rott was pretty notable at a high school level, so we'll see if he can make that jump from high school to juniors effectively, because he really killed it up there in Illinois, I think it was.
Yep.
And then Austin Bottrell, who's also out of the OJ. We didn't see him at main camp, so I haven't seen him at all, but he was like
He's
pretty
really a point per game.
Yeah, he was pretty prolific
Actually, I
up
have
there.
this on hand. He was 64 points in 65 games played between 2 OJHL teams.
Yeah, so he was not at main camp. We haven't seen him yet, but I have high hopes there. So.
And then just in addition to that, there's like a million Tier 1 EHL players that are still obviously on the roster and seeing what's going on, but there's a good chance they could transition very well. Whether it takes them a year or two, they're looking promising as well. Let's see, one more question here. At Best Brahmas Broadcaster asks, are there any interesting or new numbers on the team?
So I was almost interrupted you. Is Andy Willis? He was 15 last year because.
Oh, okay. Let's do number changes.
Go for it.
So.
Do you remember what Willis's is?
Yeah, Willis is 26. So Andy Willis
Cool.
will move from 15 to 26.
Okay.
Aiden Spellacy will move from 6 to 8. And if you'll
Interesting.
remember, Trevor Zenas was 8. So Trevor now takes 9.
Okay.
Justin Adamo is moving from 71 to 21.
Okay.
And of our returners, I think those are our changing numbers, because Biondo's sticking with 20, O'Rourke is sticking with 10, Frankie's sticking with 22.
Right.
So of our returning guys, those
And
are
Kimball's
it.
sticking
And Kimball
with
is 76.
Okay.
Which
Did you
he's still a
see?
returner.
Did you
Yeah.
see? Like, it's always interesting to me. Your most popular numbers: 19.
We have a
8,
19.
9, 27.
We don't have a
Well,
27.
There are some weird numbers this year.
Okay, so
If that's what you want to try to
who,
get
Wanna
to.
know?
who was 58 last year?
Evano.
Evano.
Evano. So that was a weird one. I thought. 58,
Evano.
58 was a weird number.
It's like Letang.
I thought the Russian kid who went AWOL, who we still have not heard from.
Oh,
Vova?
Studenikov. No,
No, we have.
We
Stop.
have.
That's the news. Breaking news.
Studenikov reached out to Mark Rep and he goes, Reapy, congratulations on the Robbie, buddy. Mark responds to him, nothing after that. So
He was like, thanks, where have you been? Radio silence.
Wow.
But he's alive, folks.
But he was a
He's
nine-
out there
at
somewhere.
his club.
Oh, man.
He was 92.
No,
90
he was 90.
No, he's 92.
No,
I thought he was 91.
he was 91.
92 was, Baginski. Baginski
Oh,
was
yeah. So
92, I think, last year.
Baginski wore 92, but, like, he was up here, like, as an affiliate player, right? So, like,
Yeah.
one game.
Kirill Romanov was 92
Ah,
when he was preseason here.
another
last year.
Baginski will
Roski.
take 71, by the way.
71. Okay. What's it?
Weird. So Baginski's taking Adamo's number.
Yep.
All right. So anything else weird on the number front?
For-
63.
Yeah, that's the biggest
63.
number.
Interesting. Who's got that?
Chase Pletsky is a tendered forward. He's
63.
yeah, he's a Bowling Green State commit? Question?
Yes.
Yes. I know I said that really confidently. I actually do know that.
I know.
So
I was thinking, I'm like, wait, was that another one? Because there were a couple college commits on here.
our goalie numbers are completely different from last year,
right.
because last year we had 29 was Calvo, 30 was Gordo, and Max had 45. This year we'll have 34 for Gibson, 35 for Beck.
Do we have a third goalie in camp? We always do.
Yeah, his name is Ajay Fernandez, and I'm a big fan generally. He'll be wearing one for camp.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, because I always like carrying 3 goalies.
I
I feel the worst for the goalies because we know how the history has shown. One of those may not even make it after the second
Right.
preseason game, but at least there's three good ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all good. I think 79 is a kind of weird one.
That's a
That
weird
is
one.
weird one.
That's Doman. I mentioned him earlier. Josh Martin, who's a defenseman, he's one of our tendered defensemen, will be wearing 45. So last
Interesting.
year it was a goalie number for us, so that's kind of fun.
It's always weird how
Yeah.
people stick with numbers when they're younger and they want to ride them out. So it's funny to
Yeah.
see 'em when they all come together in a junior
Like
team.
I'm weird when it comes to numbers. Like I have just a crazy memory for number. I remember my uniform number from every sport I've ever played. Like 6th grade basketball, number 5.
Yeah.
You know, it's just weird, and it's weird to see some of these numbers these people choose. Obviously, no 99. No one wants to be
No.
that douchebag.
I like Jeez. I feel like also like some numbers I'm always like, oh, like that's a defensive number, that's like a forward
Right.
number, that's a goalie number, and one of the ones that throws me is Rott, who takes 4, and in my head I'm like, oh, a low single digit number that's not like 9. Usually to me in my head is like, oh, a defenseman number, but he's wearing that.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, I guess in the past, though, because you just said 9, it was York, and then
Yeah.
before that was 7 was Berardinelli.
Yeah.
We've been a little bit more accustomed, older. Before you got here, there were a few more low
Weird.
numbers. But you're exactly right. I mean, obviously, like, when you go to the NHL, AHL, you never see, like, oh, Sidney Crosby wears number 3. Like,
We don't have any 87s.
Good.
We'll have actually we have like a weird number of 70s this year. I feel like I don't know if you were like looking because we'll have Baginski in
there's, like,
71,
4.
Kimball in 76, Colin Siebenthaler in 74, and Doman in 79. So it's like a lot of 70s.
4
See?
70s.
So I'm glad at best Brahmas broadcaster wrote in one moment ago with that question. That's good stuff to know.
That's the good
and
stuff
The more
to
you
know.
know.
If you're a numbers person, you love it.
So you won't see all of those numbers in action September 2nd, but
But you'll see
Some of
20 of them.
Good
Yep.
math.
you will see 20 of them for sure. As that's all that are allowed to dress. Actually, I think
You
in
might only see
preseason you can dress more. Honestly,
Oh, really?
I think you can dress more than
Maybe
20.
So
like
you
have
might
extra,
see-
make 21 or 22.
Yeah.
You might
And now we
see
don't have
more.
room on the bench for more.
I know.
But
Speaking of which, here's another tease we were talking about.
Yes.
What are we gonna do for the what's gonna be on in front of the visiting teams benches this year? Last year was Teletubbies, and fans loved that.
that was good. Good idea,
We've
Nick.
been throwing some ideas for the next one.
Throw in some ideas. Send them to Megan Kim.
Sure.
Uh,
Tweet them at me.
I like the idea that you had with the Toy Story characters, but I don't want to rock the boat with Disney. Their lawyers are a pain in the you-know-what, which is, by the way, why we don't have Star Wars Night listed on our promotion schedule, just to throw a tease at you. I may still get the Star Wars characters out here, but we're not going to have to go through
Keep it on the down low.
LucasArts
Yeah.
unless they find out from this podcast and poop all over me.
Let's hope LucasArts had better things to do than listen to a Brahms.
You'd be surprised.
No one rat us out.
You would be surprised. So,
So yeah, definitely comment with some ideas of what you'd think would be funny or fun to see on the visiting teams.
teddy bears could be good. Baby toys.
Binkies,
Yeah, binkies could be good.
ton of binkies.
We could make it look like one giant centipede or something.
Ew, I don't like that.
Crazy.
I'm not
Cats.
into that.
Cats. I like cats. I think, Megan, it was not approved, and this doesn't translate well to the podcast. But we're pointing at
We were showing some-
this poster that she came up with for the Tripping Daisy Summer Concert. It's still hanging in the office here. I love it. It's cats playing field hockey, and some of them have rainbow lasers coming out of their eyes.
It's kitty lasers.
Kitty lasers, and they're out of control, and they're awesome.
That might be a tie-in to a visiting goal song, you know?
It might be a tie-in to a visiting goal song, which might be.
What we close the podcast on.
It might be. I mean, it's going to take a few seconds before we can find a visiting goal song. But,
We're going to test some stuff out, you know?
also we should say the goal song that we've had the past 2 years is No More. And we have a new one.
Yep, it was great. It did its job winning us Robbie.
It won us a Robbie.
We're retiring it.
We took it all the way to Duluth.
All right. So let's have a vote on what the visiting goal song. It's been Space People for a while, which is
Space people.
now has like 29 million hits on YouTube. Not all from us, but no doubt many people. I got about 6 or 7 people during the year like, what the hell is that annoying song that
Me
you guys
too.
play?
Because they love it. They love hearing that.
Well, yeah, I mean, you don't like getting scored on, but that is one of the bonuses. Okay, so here we're gonna end with two clips of a song, 2 clips from 2 different songs that could be the visiting goal song. You tell us.
1 or 2.
He's a cat. Flushing the toilet, 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 he's a cat.
Okay, so that's cat flushing a toilet, which we like a great deal. Of course, this is from the creator of the epic chimpanzee riding a Segway. Another one we're looking at is Space Unicorn to tie into our Space People theme.
Space unicorn, soaring
know you want to sing along to this, right? Space unicorn delivering all the rainbows around the world. It's just a little look into
The cat
what we
flushing the
have.
toilet one is so catchy.
You know,
The best. Oh, it's still going. The best. Oh, BLT song there. What was that?
I just put my phone down. It popped up.
Wow, that was great.
Oh yeah, we have a whole plethora of new visiting goal songs. But yeah, cat flushing a toilet it's got a little groove to it.
Favorite line of that? Yeah, it's so catchy. Favorite line of that was coming up.
Which one?
He doesn't care if he's wasting water.
Oh my.
Oh man. All right. Well, lots of good stuff there. We'll be back with another edition. I don't know. I don't know.
We'll see you in the future.
Yeah, and also if you have a phrase that you would like to see worked into the broadcast on September 2nd, email chad.brahmas@gmail.com, chad.brahmas@gmail.com. I'm not afraid to talk about Prince bootleg collection or farmersonly.com or anything. You bring it. We'll see if we can squeeze it in there. Obviously no profanity, and let's keep it classy here in North Richland Hills.
I would say this podcast is a flush.
He's a cat. Flushing the toilet, 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 he's a cat.